You know, when I look at first-person shooters today and I compare it to first-person shooters back in, like, let's say the early 2000s, I'm really surprised. Not necessarily in a bad way, but it's like knowing the type of shit, video game wise, that I had to witness in order for us to get to this point. I'm really fucking impressed. Video games today, in terms of first person and third person shooters, are very different in the early 2000s. Like today, the biggest thing is like Call of Duty, and you get shit like Halo, Battlefield, you got shit like that here and there. But back then, it was like a royal rumble of first person shooters trying to fight for the top spot. You had Medal of Honor going up against Call of Duty. Call of Duty was going up against Battlefield. Everybody was going up against Halo. And then you had lesser known games like Homefront. Then come 2007, Call of Duty decided to separate itself from the rest by releasing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. After years of World War II style gameplay, they decided to take it to a new modern era by setting their next Call of Duty in the year 2011. This game changed everything, not only in Call of Duty, but also in terms of first-person shooters. Now, after playing the new Modern Warfare 1 and now the newest Modern Warfare 2, we might get a Modern Warfare 3, and I figure before that happens, and maybe even before Modern Warfare 2 releases, I figure why not revisit the original Modern Warfare trilogy. Now, how we're doing this is this. We're going to break this up into 3 parts. Part 1, Modern Warfare, obviously. Part 2, NW2. Part 3 is obviously Modern Warfare 3. I'm gonna see if I can get them all released within 1 week, but we'll see what happens. But for now, we're gonna go with Modern Warfare 1. Now, after years upon years of playing Call of Duty games, anyone who goes back to Modern Warfare or who plays it for the first time in 2022 will basically seem like it's your typical Call of Duty game. You know, you have a bunch of US soldiers going up against terrorists, the Russians. It's your typical war game. Now, the reason why Modern Warfare 1 is so special is because not only is it technically the first of its kind, but it's also the first one to bring these whole first-person shooter war games to mainstream. Not only did it elevate its gaming series, but it also elevated first-person shooters as a whole. Like, let's look at the Call of Duty games and first-person shooters as a whole. Call of Duty 1 through 3 was like World War II, World War I era. Medal of Honor was also doing the same World War II trench warfare shit. I think they started it. Battlefield started it as well with Medal of Honor and Call of Duty, but they kind of eased into the whole modernizing with Battlefield 2, which was released in 2005. Nobody remembers the SOCOM games. Halo, you have Master Chief shooting at aliens, and Tom Clancy was most known for like Splinter Cell rather than Rainbow Six New Vegas. The point I'm trying to make is the idea of a first-person shooter not only being modernized but taken seriously by mainstream wasn't really a thing up until Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out. Let's look at the campaign, because I think the campaign is what sold it. Multiplayer is what sealed it, but the campaign is what really got the ball rolling. Now, in the beginning of the game, Gaz, the original Gaz, he kind of gives a brief history on what's been going on in the world. Basically, Russia, fictional, was having a civil war within itself. The Russian government has been warring with this terroristic-like militia known as the Ultranationalists. Basically, Russians rebelling against their government, while also being aided by a powerful Middle Eastern named Al-Assad. While this is happening, Gaz also informs Price of their new recruit to the FNG, Soap MacTavish.
Right. What the hell kind of name is Soap, eh? How'd a muppet like you pass selection?
Even though we rotate characters, he's technically the main character of the game. Now, just like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 1 opens up in the form of a training tutorial staged as an obstacle course. It's basically the pit number 1. Now, after this, there's a mission where you have to infiltrate a Russian ship and steal a package. It's your typical stealth mission. I don't want to get too much into it because I actually want to get into the third mission after this. But before I do that, I just want to point out, this mission's kind of dumb. Like, I want you to think about this. You have a ship full of people and you don't notice a helicopter full of armed men storming from the top? Like, I get that it's a video game, but come on. Now back to the mission that I wanted to talk to you about. Okay, so after the mission Crew Expendable, there's a mission called Coup. And Coup is basically like an interactive cutscene. You don't shoot nobody, you don't move. You play as the president, Al-Fusani, who's basically being held prisoner. And as simple as it is, it does a really good job at stroking your curiosity. How it goes is this: 2 soldiers throw Al-Fusani in the back of a car where he is to be delivered to someone who I thought was going to be the main villain of the game, Al-Assad. Now, as simple as this car ride quote unquote looks, It's really interesting because when you look outside the windows, you see all types of shit happen. People getting shot, kids playing in the background, people hopping fences. You got cars passing by with dudes loaded up with firearms. The car ride itself is simple, but what's going on around you outside the car is what keeps you guessing, I wonder what the fuck that was. Public executions flood the streets, all the while you have Al-Assad giving a speech in Arabic in the background. Like, you're so infused with what's going on outside the car that you're not paying attention to the subtitles of the speech that Al-Assad is giving. Long story short, the car ride ends and President Al-Fusani is delivered to Al-Assad and a man in a trench coat who we will identify later, where he is to be executed in front of a stadium full of people. Sucks, doesn't it? Now, even though we're on the third mission, technically this is still the intro. This is the prologue. They give you a brief history of what's going on in the beginning, they give you a feel of the game by sending you on the mission, and then they finish off the intro by executing a president. Ain't that some shit? Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. How you handle an intro to a video game will depict how a person enjoys the entirety. Doesn't matter how good you make the story, it doesn't matter what attachments you add. If the intro is good, it amplifies the feeling that you get playing the story. And Modern Warfare did that. Normally any other game would just give you like a brief cutscene and that's it, which is technically what they did in the second one. Nah, bro, the first one gives you like a 3-step tutorial on what we're doing, what the objective is, who the villains are, and how we're gonna handle them, and I fucking love it. Now after that, the entirety of the game is just action-packed. Like, we doing all types of shit. First, we had to rescue Nikolai, who was a Russian informant who's been giving us information on, well, Russia. He's a good dude, I'll vouch for him. You switch characters for a brief moment so you can go rescue a friendly tank named the War Pig, and some time passes by and you find out that Al-Assad isn't the main villain. It's actually a man named
Zakhaev. Imran Zakhaev.
Yeah, I see, the plot thickens. Now, them doing that, taking out Assad and introducing Zakhaev, it kind of threw me off guard. But I accepted it, mainly because I already knew the outcome. But for the people who don't, I'm going to explain why this is a good thing. So technically, our introduction to Zakhaev was in the mission Coup. Remember the intro? He was the dude in the trench coat handing bro the Desert Eagle. Now, anyone who plays this for the first time probably just write him off as another background character, someone who played no part in the story whatsoever. Come to find out, that person who we thought was a nobody in the beginning is worse than the person we thought was the main villain. Zakhaev's a bad dude. To make up for the lack of information we have on Imran, they give us a backstory mission where we play as Price and they show us how we kind of fucked his life over by handicapping him. Fast forward to present day, Assad is dead, so now Imran Zakhaev is the one in charge of everything, and now it's our mission to stop him. In an attempt to do so, we try to kidnap his kid. Relax, dude's like 25 and evil. We managed to corner him on a rooftop, but in an attempt to prevent himself from being captured, he pops himself. In comes retaliation. Now, I don't know if this was his plan all along or if he just started thinking emotionally because he just lost his son, but Zakhaev decided to launch 2 scatter missiles at the east coast of the States. Obviously, we stop him, we type in the nuclear launch codes, we reset everything, we save the East Coast, when we have this amazing ass chase scene in the final mission. Like, Zakhaev's convoy is not only chasing us, but we're also chasing Zakhaev as well. And you shooting at enemy cars, you getting shot at by rocket launchers, there's a minigun being fired at you, you have an RPG in the back. And it ends with the helicopter shooting the bridge and taking out everybody almost damn near. You come to before anybody else, Gaz gets killed, Price slides you the pistol, and then you take your shot and you end Zakhaev. This time with a proper headshot. With Zakhaev dead, our allies come to our rescue, and that concludes the campaign of Modern Warfare 1. Call of Duty 4 did a lot to depict the modernization of warfare in Modern Warfare 1. Not saying that the first 3 World War II-like games were bad, but going from Call of Duty 3 to this is a crazy-ass transition. And like I said, even though there were games on the down low that kind of did that Modern Warfare shit, games like Black or Battlefield 2, they weren't as popular and they didn't make it to the levels that Modern Warfare made it. There was something about Modern Warfare specifically that took modern styled war games and turned it into the next big thing. Obviously, campaign is one of them. But to me, something that's not only just as important, but maybe more, is its multiplayer. Now, multiplayer has always been a thing in Call of Duty, but when it comes to the Call of Duties of today, I can say each and every one of them received their influence from Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare's multiplayer was the blueprint for every Call of Duty game out today, from gameplay to kill streaks. Now, just like the other Call of Duties, is a set team of people against another set team of people, either going up against each other in team deathmatch or completing objectives. Typical Call of Duty shit, right? Wrong. Call of Duty 3's multiplayer wasn't really bad. I don't really think I have anything bad to say about it. I mean, it was fun. It did what it was supposed to do. But come Call of Duty 4, it's like everything they had good in the first 3, they not only amplified it with 4, but they did it so well that they actually started a trend. In my opinion. See, unlike multiplayers not only of Call of Duty, but also multiplayers in games like Battlefield or Medal of Honor, Call of Duty introduced a new thing called kill streaks. Basically, if you get enough kills, let's say 3 kills, 5 kills, 7 kills, you are able to call in a kill streak. That's a UAV strike, a Predator missile, or an attack helicopter. See, it's one thing when you and a group of friends are fighting against another group on a ship in the middle of the sea. It's another thing when you can call in a premeditated airstrike. Now, as time has gone by, we've seen more and more kill streaks. We even see score streaks. They get crazier and crazier each game. And yes, the first Modern Warfare only really had 3 kill streaks. Actually, I'm bugging. I think they had 4. The point is, they had a lot less compared to the games we have now, but the reason why it's so special is because it was the first to do it. I know I keep saying that, but that's one of the biggest reasons why we love this game. It's not just because it's a great game, because it is. It's great, but it's also the fact that it provided something different for the series. Other multiplayers weren't doing that shit. All that calling in premeditated airstrikes and UAVs and helicopters, Battlefield wasn't doing that, Black wasn't doing that, I don't think Medal of Honor was doing that, correct me if I'm wrong. So when Call of Duty introduced it, it made everybody stop what they were doing and look at the series and say, huh, I wonder what the fuck that is. And the maps were most definitely an elevation from Call of Duty 3. Maps like Bog were my personal favorite. For y'all who don't remember, Bog is actually technically like a trench-like map, kinda. The majority of Bog's map is technically one big trench with like a tank, an empty bus, and like broken down cars and empty cargoes inside of it. And on the side of them are these 2 little shops on opposing sides of the field. Something I really loved about Bog specifically was its scenery. Imagine everything I just described, but like it's the dead of night and the only lights you get is from the fires, the broken lights in the shops you pass through, the headlights of like mad rundown cars, and the constant gunfire you hear surrounding the map. Like, while there's a war going on in this multiplayer map, when you look outside of it, there's a war going out on the outside as well. Other multiplayer maps are kind of like this too, but there's something about Bog that really attracts me. Now, unfortunately, compared to Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 1 didn't have special ops. That was introduced in Modern Warfare 2. But nonetheless, they made up for it by having a great campaign and an even better multiplayer. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is not the best in the series, but it will forever be known as the one that helped elevate it, while also influencing other first-person shooters to follow in its steps. However you feel about the current state of Call of Duty is your business, but I think it's important for all of us to look at the beginning to see how all this shit started. And that is the ending of the first part of the Modern Warfare Trilogy review. You know, I feel like even though I haven't fucking talked about Modern Warfare 2 or Modern Warfare 3 yet, I haven't done those videos yet, I feel like this one was the hardest to do. Like, I played it here and there, like I played it a lot, but I did not play it nowhere near as much as I did Modern Warfare 2 and 3. So while I'm doing this video, there's times where I have to leave and like play the game even more to refresh my memory. I don't have to do that with Modern Warfare 2. I'm still gonna do it just in case, but I know that story by heart. It's just Modern Warfare 1 out of the 3 that I had to really do that shit with, you know? Nonetheless, I really fucking enjoyed making this video, and I hope you enjoy watching it. But that's all I got for part 1. I'll see y'all in part 2. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Reggie TV. I'm out.